So here's a little experiment. I'm going to combine Storyteller Tactics with the Red Team Handbook. And the Red Team Handbook is from American military studies. Red teaming is basically where you appoint a team of devil's advocates to test your plans really well and see if they can be improved, see where the weaknesses are. So more on that later. We're going to look at the man in a hole story structure for this. But let me just play this out as a kind of exercise that you could do with different teams where you work. So the first thing you do when you're working on this exercise is, okay, figure out where are we now and where are we trying to get to. So where are we now? That's kind of point A. And we're trying to get somewhere. We're trying to improve our process, our work, whatever it is. We're trying to get to point B. And B is usually a better place than where we're starting. So we're trying to improve. Now, in an ideal world, it would just be do, nice straight line from A to B. But it never is. That's where the man in a hole story shape, the story arc of the man in a hole comes in, because instead of going from A to B, it goes off in a funny direction. So what's really going to happen? So the first thing you do as your team exercise, you say, right, so where are we now? Okay, where are we? And where do we want to get to, our destination? Okay, and let's set off in the right direction. Okay, next thing is, what is going to knock us off course? So what are the unknown unknowns? Maybe the known unknowns, the threats, yes, the opportunities, the things that are going to knock us off our course. And it is going to happen, because it always does. There's always something you're not expecting that comes at you, whether it's a trade war or politics or a pandemic. It doesn't really matter. Loads of things come at you, or redundancy or recession. Doesn't matter. There's always unexpected stuff, especially over a long project. So something is going to knock you down off course. Okay. And this represents in the man in a hole story arc. That's the comfort zone where you think you know what you're doing, and then you get knocked off course. You end up in a kind of crisis, okay, where things look really, really bad. But somehow, through the way you work, through the team, whatever it is, somehow you manage to recover and reach your destination, having learned something really, really useful. So in the crisis, you kind of ditch old stuff, yeah, that wasn't working properly. The bad behaviours, the lack of awareness, the insufficient preparation, whatever it was that got you in the mess in the first place. Well, you ditch that and you learn new stuff. Yep. Here's the way we should be acting. Here's what we should be thinking about. That's what crisis is all about. It's learning the new stuff that allows you to recover and get back on track. Okay, so far so good. This is a simple man in a hole story. Where does the red team come in? Well, the red team handbook says what you do is you get someone else to look at your plan, or in this case someone else to look at your story and see what you've missed, a fresh pair of eyes. This is your red team. So the red team come along and they go, yeah, okay, so they got this far and something happened that knocked them off course. But what else could have happened? What have they missed? Yes, what else could have tripped them up at this point? Okay. And then the red team are going, well, your crisis isn't deep enough, right? Let's make it, how bad could it really get? Yeah, so this is a kind of real crisis. Down here, oh, it's really bad. And also, when you ditch the old behaviours that are no longer working, you acquire the new behaviours that are going to get you out of the hole. You discover new things. Well, red team says, well, how high could we go? Why do we need to stop at the original destination? Why don't we go to B+, which is actually a better destination because we've learned so much good stuff down here. Why don't we aim higher? So the red team are following the same pattern. They're following the same man in a hole story structure of comfort zone, trigger, crisis, recovery, reach the destination. It's the same story structure, but the red team's job is to go extreme, to say, what else could knock us down? What are these guys missing from their story? How bad could it really get? Yeah, what new stuff do you really need to learn to get you out of the hole? And on the why are we just going back to why don't we try and get even better? What else? Where could we get that's even better than we planned? So this is a kind of combination of man in a hole from Storyteller Tactics, red team tactics from the American military. And as I say, it would work as a kind of group exercise where you have two groups. And so you can imagine they're working on two tables, yep, side by side, yep. And one group are working on their plan of a kind of, okay, this is what we think will happen on this project, right? And then they swap tables and they become each other's red team. And they go, oh yeah, you think that's bad? Wait till you see that. That's really bad. But why don't we aim for this? So they both red team each other's story and try and make the peaks and the troughs even more dramatic. I mean, from a storytelling point of view, the more peak and the more trough you go through, the more dramatic the story is. But from a kind of team building, being aware of problems, how we solve problems, why not give yourself really tough problems? Why not give yourself a really good payoff? And the switching around bit of this exercise is really, really good. Other people will see problems that you've missed, always. Yeah, a fresh pair of eyes. They'll always see something you've missed. They'll always ask the stupid question that you won't ask, or the embarrassing question that you can't ask. So that's what red teaming is all about. And this little model here is just about how do you mix and match red team and Storyteller Tactics. Try it and see what you think.